And greetings once again to the collective. This is Ocyphius from the Oversoul Collective Fire. We bid you all a good day. We would like to discuss the matter of unworthy. In the incarnation of humanity, unlike all other incarnations, you have a special ingredient, item in place that is called separation, lack of memory, not knowing your collective whole self. In that moment, truly, of incarnation as a human, being birthed, there is no remembrance of whole, remembrance of history, remembrance of all that is. That feeling, that void, that emptiness leads to a loneliness, lost, needing, looking, searching for a connection back to the whole of you, all of creation, all of the unconditional, the love that you are by nature. In this absenteeism of self, the personality that is developed on the planet during humanity's ascension of self, if you will, only learns, covets itself as an idea, projected from the co-created reality, accepted by each individual fractal that has chosen the human incarnation, and leading to the development of a persona/personality, can be encompassed as well as your ego. That ego is unworthy of itself. The way you feel, however, worthiness, is through many items of emotional value. They are real, they are valid, they are true to the self. You can defend your truths of worthiness through resume, accomplishments, adoration, validation through the collective, being in love, and someone loving you will give you a sense, an emotional relationship that is fulfilling the void, the emptiness that you would consider unworthy. Your existence relies then upon the external to validate the self. This is the nature of co-creation in the human idea, the human co-creation journey of evolution, to rely upon, once again, an external item, even it may be a definition. It is emotionally value and fulfilling, albeit quite temporary if you pay attention. This is why most humans need to be something more than they are, need to prove to themselves and others that they are truly worthy. And this is a generational idea, not in time generation, but generating a cycle of the self always seeking to try, to find, to effort, to purpose itself in fulfilling what you would consider a good, viable, worthy identity. That identity carries itself through its life with the comfort of the ego through emotional content, becomes to rely upon that structure to continue its life, to continue to go forward, to continue to be your best version of human. And as you can see, in your day-to-day life, humanity has a vast array, if you will, of personalities. You try to fit them into a category between good and bad. And you have mediocrity and down to horrific. You have mediocrity up to perhaps sainthood. These ideas is how you define yourself and others. This is the structure birthed, masters, from the void. That someone that fits your nature and behaves in a way that is conductive of the match of your emotional view of that behavior that would deem that person worthy of your attention, friendship, love. And the ones that don't fit your world, you would want to exclude, not to be part of. Keep them at a distance. These are understandings of a relationship that you create day to day with your human journey. An awakener will observe these relationships, will find emotional content and scrutinize it, and understand it from a perspective of evolution. That creation truly is nor good nor bad. It is neither. By nature, creation is unconditional, the state of being of love. Not the emotion love, which has caused, if you would, confusion with humanity on what humans believe out there and all other species are predicted to behave. And they also put the polarity structure on other entities outside of your plane of existence as something bad. But good and bad exist in a nature production, if you will, of separation. The Pleiadians are not good nor bad, they are love. The Andromedans are not good nor bad, they are love. From the perspective of each individual co-creating in a now, in a physical or a vibrational co-created reality, would see each other as love, the same way you do. But you define love in a polarized fashion. Again, birthed from unworthiness, the absenteeism of self. So the master must look at itself and say, am I worthy of my own existence without the populace of a definition that invokes a emotional, vibrational, positive identity, shoring up, hopeful emotion that gives you a feeling, a sense of worthiness, which becomes again generational or cycled. And then what happens? You're always seeking to fulfill yourself through the reliability of the ego, coming up with ideas on how to do such things. Getting degrees, getting a higher education, getting married, having kids, being a responsible person, a good employee. Thousands of ways to do that. And these are all valid. They are unconditional love. There is nothing wrong with what humans do. But the discovery of self is a potential vibrational reality to be experienced by humanity. Because by nature you are not absent of yourself. You are not unworthy of your existence. And you sure do not need proof validated by external anomalies to validate the internal self through a interpretation given by the ego itself. So if you want to understand your worthiness, start with the existence of your own awareness, your I am, your self as is, without the complements of accomplishments, the accomplishments of achievements validated by authority, as well as the ridicule you get from humanity, which also gives you worthiness. A good criminal has worthiness. A mass suicide leader, Jonestown, has worthiness. Hitler had worthiness. These ideas are structures of unworthiness to perpetuate in emotion. The masters that you are today, that have awoken to the ego, that have the ability to recognize itself in separation through humility, surrender, can see and know its own addiction to these vibrational feelings that invoke a worthiness predicated on outside and egoic validations. These will be your addiction unless you realize that in the moment, through all now, the current flow of life, that your awareness leads to knowing your existence will never cease, and that in and of itself should give you an internal worthiness to be cultivated, nurtured, and understood as a potential springboard for you to now, instead of using your ego guidance, a potential again for now, to start relying on notion, impressions, instinct, on where you want to put your truth as a vibrational release into the vortex of reality that attracts and brings forth validation of the vibrational self. When you begin to change and act upon the internal worthiness, the unknown self, the persona, the validation will come in its natural timing, and you will manifest a reality of physical around you that will support and continue the opportunity of self-discovery, leading to enlightenment and eventually ascension if you choose to follow through as far as you want to. Remember, it's not about the end game. It's always about the now game. The now will lead you to then. The now will take you away from the fears and the hopes of the future, the regrets from the past, and lead you into a place of confidence through courage and trust to birth yourself anew and allow your vibration to project an amount of worthiness just by your presence to the collective of humanity that seeks their own worthiness through externalism, that they may run across your light and feel the brilliance of your love through your authentic representation of your worthiness. And may they, one day, choose themselves over the external need of acceptance to fulfill the internal unworthiness. And finally, realize its own existence needs no fanfare, no support, no validation. It, in and of itself, is I am. We bid you a good day, Masters. This is Ocyphius once again. Adonai.